Hi, I'm Crystal, and I'm here with Texas Two-Step Tuesday, hosted by Susan, and I totally love it. This week's prompt is Western Union, which calls for at least two types of written ephemera. And I am working in my book of things to do in Texas, making section header pages, and this is the general information section. I started with a map, which I painted with instant iced tea powder to get a sepia tone. Then I added a couple of photos, one of a Texas lake and one of a longhorn cow. And then I've got a couple of phrases and a notebook page, die-cut notebook page, giving the title of the section. So the phrases that I've added are "Meanwhile in Texas." That's out of Texas Monthly Magazine. And then the second phrase that I have added at the top is "Something's out there calling me to roam," which is actually I believe a Montana travel advertisement or brand, and I just liked it, so I included it in my page. Now, these longhorn cattle have really come to represent Texas. They are the descendants of Spanish cattle introduced to the New World by Christopher Columbus. They were brought over to Mexico from the Caribbean island where they originally landed, and moved north with the Spanish conquistadors, where they were turned loose and were mostly semi-feral, and they're very hardy cattle, much more resistant to heat and drought than a lot of European breeds. But they did almost go extinct in the 1920s. They were rescued from near extinction by a breeding herd maintained by the U.S. Forest Service near Lawton, Oklahoma. So I thought that was an interesting little fact in the history of longhorn cattle, that in the end they were saved by Oklahoma. So we have to thank our neighbors to the north. But this is almost the end of my book. I think I only have one section page left to do. And I really like my decorative section headers. I've really enjoyed working my way through this challenge to decorate my book of all the things I've torn out of various magazines and newspapers and travel brochures. So I really appreciate Susan for hosting, and I appreciate all of my fellow participants because you've really inspired me. Thanks for joining me today.